This was an absolutely incredible game from the Detroit Pistons against the New York Knicks. This was one of those games that tells you not only are you on the right track, but you are, as they used to say, cooking with fish grease, cooking with that hot oil. You're making something hot, quick. It's burning up. What the Detroit Pistons are doing right now, yo, they're hot. They're on fire. I don't know what it is that the friendship, chemistry, connection between JB Bickerstaff and Jamal Mosley, head coach of the Orlando Magic, have going on. I don't know what that magic is between them, but both of them have been able to sell both of their teams, their organizations, their rosters on one hell of a buy-in. One hell of a buy-in. And I mean, you know, that type of buy-in that makes you feel like you have something special. That type of buy-in that Mark Jackson created for the Golden State Warriors at the beginning of the Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green era. The type of buy-in that you see where everything begins to come together and fall into place because guys believe in the leadership, they believe in the direction, they believe in the organization, they believe in the strategy of what it means for them to find success. And it's all coming together for the Detroit Pistons. I want to dive into that in this video. But before I do, this video is brought to you by Bridges and Stone's Family and Relationship Care. Not everyone is ready for change. For those who believe they are, many times the question becomes, what next? The simplest answer is to take a chance and ask for help. Bridges and Stone's Family and Relationship Care is a space to receive professional coaching on how to develop these skills to improve one's relationships, life outcomes, and experience what it means to take definitive steps to reaching their dreams. Contact Bridges and Stones today for your free consultation and start living the life you always dreamed. The link is in the description box below. You know, I wish I had done this. If I had done this video probably right after the game, I probably would have been shouting. I would have probably been, man, I was hyped. I was hyped. And if I'm honest with you, it was one of those games where like you just see it building and there's like these question marks in the back of your mind, like, man, is this team really playing at this level? Are the Detroit Pistons without Jaden Ivey really playing at this level? The New York Knicks, they were pretty much at full staff outside of waiting on Mitchell Robinson. They were pretty much at full staff. They had everybody healthy. They had this team ready to go. They got Deuce McBride back, added Landry Shamet. They had Cam Payne. They had Precious Achiuwa, all coming off the bench, giving valuable minutes. And they had their starters. And the starters were hitting. Mikal Bridges, he was lights out. And yet the Detroit Pistons just kept coming. They kept knocking down shots. They kept making plays. And I want to get into this because the plays that they were making were 100% an indication that all of this is working. That all of this is working. You know, so many people on Twitter are like, oh, yeah, well, now we need to go all in. Go on and get the injured Brandon Ingram. Go on and get Zach LaVine, who can't even get the current team he's on into the play-in. He can't even get them to a better record, right? And he's supposed to be this great talent who's on that huge contract, right? Like people are so quick to get caught up in the moment. They don't actually recognize when they're already winning. When they're already winning. You already got it. Matter of fact, you got what the other teams who are going to try to sell you on their overpaid, often injury-prone star are trying to get to. They're trying to get to where you at. And here's the thing, they probably would never do the move that you're about to do or they're trying to convince you to do, which is mortgage your future for the moment. You see, right now, the Detroit Pistons, everything's clicking. The shooting that you brought in is clicking. They're knocking down shots. They're showing up consistently. They're being that threat that opens up the court. The rookies, especially Ron Holland, he's showing out. Not only is his three-point shot coming around, but he's also not settling. And that was something that I saw. His very first shot was a three-point shot, and I was like, come on, man. Come on, man. That's not what this team needs from you right now. And sure enough, he came out in the second half, drove right to the basket, caught the ball, exploded to the rim, dumped it off. Isaiah Stewart, wide open layup. You got guys like Asar Thompson, knocked down his three-point shot, slowing it down so he knows when to assert himself defensively, when to assert himself to get into passing lanes, when to play with that intensity, which allowed him to actually stay out on the court longer. And you saw the impact. You saw the complete disruption that he had defensively. You saw his ability to take Jalen Brunson out of the game in that fourth quarter. Jalen Brunson was not challenging him. He was not at all. He left him alone. He just swung it around to Mikal Bridges. Right? You see Cade Cunningham progressing. You see, pretty much everybody but Jalen Duren progressing, unfortunately. But you see Tobias Harris is hitting, right? How he knocked down key shots, key momentum shifting shots, right? You see it working. Why would you want to mortgage that? To bring in somebody that you hope does already what's already happening, which is winning. They just knocked off the New York Knicks. Again. In New York. Cade Cunningham steps into the Garden with only 7 points in the first half, drops 29 in the second half, ends up with 36 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, and a steal, despite being in foul trouble. He goes toe-to-toe with Jalen Brunson and comes out the better man. This is who you got on this team. You've got a star. He may even be turning into a superstar, but here's the thing. If he is, why mess with the gumbo? If it's already good, if it's simmering and all the aroma is great and you taste it, ooh, the spice is hitting just right, why would you go and say, hey, you know what? Let's go ahead and take these crab legs out and let's figure out putting something else in here, like some apples. Yeah, apples are good. Why you want to mess with it? Why you want to mess with a good thing? And some of y'all are getting on my nerves with this. I'm talking to you, Cool, on Twitter. Why are you constantly clamoring to mess with the pot, to mess with the gumbo, to mess with the recipe? The recipe is working. It is working. With Troy Weaver, Trajan Langdon put into place around these talents, they finally got some healthy shooting that's knocking down shots. Cade Cunningham is growing. They're winning games. Right now, the record, I believe, let me double check the record. It's what, 21? 21 and 19? 21 and 19. 2 games over 500. The Miami Heat are falling. There's a good chance they get to that 8th seed. Wouldn't be shocked at all. I think they stay somewhere around the 7th and 8th seed for the rest of the season. They are about to be in the play-in, if not playoffs. Because let's look at who they would be facing in the play-in tournament. Now, it could be dangerous facing Philly in the play-in tournament. It could be, if Joel Embiid is back. It could be dangerous. But they made it to the play-in. Remember, I said at the beginning of the season, this is a 32-35 win team. That's where I had them. Check the receipts. And now you see them on pace to get to that 32-35 wins. That's where they're at. Don't mess with the recipe. Don't mess with the gumbo. Right now, everything is hitting for the Detroit Pistons. Everything. Cade Cunningham is looking more and more dominant. He's doing exactly what I had hoped that he would do, is that when he needed to get a bucket, he goes to a very specific shot, which is working his angles to get close to the basket, get that little shoulder into him, boom, that little bump, step back, right over the top. Every time he needs it, it's there for him. And his three-point shot, he was rolling. It was rolling. On the move, on the catch, off the dribble, Nothing but net. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. This game was one of those games that I think says something about the Detroit Pistons. This was one of those games that it shifts how we need to talk about them at this point. It shifts how we need to look at them. Not that they need to make a big move, but that they've already made the big move. What they did in the offseason. What this tells you is that this organizational leadership is executing at a high level. And this is not your everyday run-of-the-mill rebuilding team. This team has rebuilt. They have rebuilt. They're about to walk into the play-in. And I don't think folks really appreciate, I think maybe some of the fans haven't seen winning in so long that now they don't even recognize winning when they're winning. You're winning. You're 2 games over 500 in the play-in. You're an 8th seed. That means you're going to have at least 2 games in the play-in. At least. If you lose the first one, you're going to get the second one. You're going to get the game at home. Come on now, Detroit. Piston fans need to celebrate. They need to applaud. They need to enjoy the victories. They need to start putting those jerseys back on and make their way down to the stadium. They need to make sure that they pop up at away games, right? And start yelling out Detroit basketball. That's what they need to start doing right now. This is the time. This is what you've been waiting on. Enjoy it. Hey, when mama cooks good food, when grandmama cooks that food and that gumbo is ready, enjoy it. Enjoy it. You ain't got to play with it. You ain't got to add extra stuff. You ain't got to walk around in the kitchen and try to put something in it behind the back. Don't do it. Don't do it. Just sit on down. Wait for that plate. Put it on top of the rice. Get you a little piece of cornbread. And enjoy the meal. Trajan Langdon, great job. Great job. JB Bickerstaff, man. I mean, that's the cook. That's the real cook right now. Good job. I'm excited to see where this continues to go. Starting off this second half of the month, which is going to be pretty brutal. It's going to be pretty brutal. They have a lot of above 500 teams, playoff teams that they are going to be facing. Starting off with a win lets you know what this team is capable of. Lets you know what this team is capable of, because it wasn't an individual effort. Even though Cade had 36, seeing what guys were able to do to step up in their roles, execute, and play at a high level, the unselfishness on this team. Tim Hardaway twice passed up a wide open 3 to Malik Beasley, knowing that he had the hot hand. Man, seeing these guys play together in this way is tremendous. Tremendous. And I, for one, am enjoying the show. I hope you all are too. Don't rush the process. Don't mess with the gumbo. I'm going to holler at y'all next time. If you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. Drop some comments in the comment section. We can chop it up there. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.